I enlisted in the Coast Guard, had a great career. It's still to this day the best job I ever had. Constant adrenaline rush. There was always something happening, an airplane crash or boat going down or some other diving accident or something. In the fire service, I'd been a volunteer for a number of years prior to that in the Millville Fire Department, and I became chief at that department at age 36. The organization grew. We did inspection work. We did a lot of fire prevention activities. We actually taught programs in schools. Kind of what makes me tick is being able to be engaged in helping people. Last summer, I kicked back in the beginning of August. I said, man, I feel really tired. I'm starting to feel it. I need a break. I went to a meeting at the courthouse, but all of a sudden I felt dizzy. Syncopal episode. Less than a week later, we had a pretty big fire on one side of the county. It was later at night. I really wasn't planning on going unless they needed some assistance, and the fire chief that was in charge of the fire asked me to come out, so I went out to that. On my way back to my vehicle, I had another syncopal episode, and I felt like I wasn't going to make it back in my truck. I'm like, that's it. So I called my family doc. My family doc wanted to see my cardiologist, so I went to see my cardiologist, and they lined me up for another heart catheterization, thinking like, well, maybe he's got a blockage or something going on. And I had another syncopal episode before I got up to get the test done. As soon as I came out of that, my cardiologist says, I need to send you to the heart team in Ruby, and sent me right to the cardiovascular intensive care. Come to find out, both sides of the heart were pretty much gone into complete failure. I'd been on the side of trying to save lives in some way or another, either directly or indirectly, in the kinds of service that was involved in managing or at the technical level. Being on the receiving end was really kind of difficult for me to kind of comprehend that. So I ended up putting a pump in and started doing all the tests and a workup for a heart transplant. And the team came in and broke the news to me that you're pretty much not leaving the hospital, not alive, without a new heart. There's a fireman saying about old fire hose, and back in the old days you used cotton jacketed fire hose, and if you wore the cotton jacketed fire hose out and you put it away wet, it got all mildew and was unusable. My heart was like old fire hose. After 2 weeks and 2 days, one of the docs comes in and tells me, he says, we have a donor. We're gonna put you under tomorrow. And that was the first time I broke down. I lost it for the whole day. I knew for that to happen, somebody else had to be gone. That's hard for me to take. I think by the time morning came, I was ready as like, let's get this done and over with and see where we go from there. The transplant team, the docs, the nurses that worked CVICU, the whole staff, even the physical therapists that came down to take care of me, they were top-notch people. Every single one of them. These were a lot of young nurses, male and female. They were at the top of their game. 10 days after surgery, I walked out and I walked into my house. From then on, it was like, okay, I gotta start progressively getting back into health. Shortly after that, I guess it was 2 or 3 weeks, we had a couple commercial building fires at the Weyerhaeuser plant north of here. And I was out on that. On one of them, I ended up dragging some 2.5-inch fire hose. If it had been a year before, prior to the surgery and everything, I probably would have struggled and huffed and puffed, and it just keeps on improving. I feel fantastic.
You take someone that comes to you critically sick and can't do anything, that's almost to the brink of death, and you're able to provide a life-saving but really life-altering treatment, and now they're back living their life, doing everything they want to do. So to me, that's like the ultimate gift that we can provide, and that's why we do it. And I'm proud of our whole team for being able to do that.
So July will mark 50 years in emergency services for me. Thankful for all the services that the WVU Heart team put together to put me together. I'm just excited to just keep on trucking, trying to figure out what my next mission in life is going to be.